Hey guys, nugiyen here, and today's video is gonna be a request that I've been getting a lot, both on stream and on YouTube. It's been how do I place my Paragon points? So you might wonder, which is better? Dex, Fit, how much movement speed, should I take maximum hatred? What about crit versus crit damage, attack speed, is that worth it and all that? Well, let me go over them step by step. So let's go over the core ones first. So the one thing you want to do to begin with, you want to max out movement speed. You want to max out movement speed in the sense that you want to get 25. You want to reach the cap. Where do I see if I reach the cap? Go into details, go in movement speed, you see 25. I have 25 because my pets right here, I have all the pets, and I also have the Ferret Companion. This gives me a passive 10% movement speed. By chance, I have 10% movement speed on boots. Normally, you actually don't want to have movement speed on boots because it occupies a slot where you would rather have like all resist, even like armor, like any other role like Vit, armor, all resist. All these would be better than movement speed. But since it's there, I'm gonna use those points by taking the 10% out here and placing them in Dex. For the specific build I'm doing right now, I'm not relying on hatred too much, so I don't have to go into maximum hatred. Instead, I just place all of them in Dex. Had I, however, went Reaper's Reps, for instance, with like a fire build, what would then happen is that as I increase my maximum hatred, this Reaper's Reps becomes better and better. As you can see, it's 28% of my primary resource. By increasing the maximum amount, I increase the amount that I gain from this. Also, there are other builds where you like to have a bigger resource pool. Sometimes I might want it, other times not really, because I rarely have maximum hatred. If you often get to the point where you max it out, well, then it might be a good idea. Dex or Vitality? Well, if you need the Vitality, go Vitality. If you need the Dex, go Dex. Pretty simple. On to offense. The main thing here is that you want to look at what kind of build are you doing? Are you doing a cooldown reduction build where you, for example, I could think of Archon or like some of the bar builds are like very cooldown reduction heavy, where everything relies on specific cooldowns. These kind of builds, you might actually, I'm not entirely sure, I'm not an expert on Wizard yet, where these you might actually want cooldown reduction before the damage, because it might enable you to get like close to permanent Archon. I don't know. So you have to like, this is very build specific. In general, attack speed is the worst in here. It's very few builds that benefit from attack speed. It's often gonna be the third or the fourth choice. First off, you want to pick either crit chance or damage. The thing you need to keep in mind here is keeping the ratio. In general, you want to keep a 10 to or 1 to 10 ratio, meaning that for every 1 crit chance, you want 10 crit damage. So you can see here, I need to max my crit chance, because right now I would need 50 crit chance before I would get close to the 1 to 10 ratio, right? So that's why I'm going crit chance. If I then, however, put on this quiver, now it will look differently. You see, as you can see, I got 51.5 and only 375. So now I would redo these, max this first, and then go crit chance. And then the ratio seems better, right? You see, gets closer to the 10 to 1. So that's like the rule of thumb. However, if you have equal amounts of crit chance versus crit damage, I would suggest going crit chance, because for most builds, it gives you more reliable damage. The less you have to like wait for that crit before you can kill anything, the more smooth your gameplay becomes. Attack speed as a third option is good on some builds. The thing is, it comes down to, can you manage your resources versus the attack speed? Most likely you can when you get to that Paragon level. You're most likely comfortable enough, but to start out with, I would never go attack speed. It's often a bad stat. Cooldown reduction, very good for a variety of builds. You know which ones. In here, resist all will almost always be the key stat. After that, I would pick life. Some builds have high amounts of armor, the strength builds, where you could argue that you want armor first. This depends on, like, are you relying on life regen? Like, do you have like a lot of life on hit and life regen? Then resist all and armor becomes better than life, because you're regenning your health pool. Like, let's say you never go to full life and you're always like dabbling, like your health pool is always going up and down. You're always taking hits, you're never regenerating to full. Like, you're never getting one shot either. This means that you want as much mitigation, you want all your life on hit to have higher value. How do you do that? By making so that every single life point is worth more. You do that by going the mitigation stats. If the only thing you're worried about is getting one shot, then all resist and then life, because you get a higher life pool, So it means that whenever you take that, like that massive hit, boom, you don't die, great. But then life regen is not that great. Like, your potion is really nice if you have a lot of life, because as you can see, it's a percent base of your life, so then that becomes really nice. In here, area damage, cooldown, or resource reduction, life on hit, gold fine. A few builds really like life on hit. I could like probably monks, wizard, barbs, all those, they're pretty good with that. As a demon hunter, I feel like it's not really necessary having any of this. You get health globes, you get a potion. When you solo, you have the Templar, and you keep out, like, you're trying to avoid the damage in the first place. You're not continuously taking damage. The life regen and life on hit is mostly for the ones that are continuously taking damage that they can deal with and mitigate. Resource reduction, I would say, is pretty much the key stat for any build, almost. Area damage might be better for some builds because it does add a ton of damage. So I'm not entirely sure how area damage works. I do know that at some point you can actually double your damage if you have like 5 monsters close. I don't know if it's at 50% or 100% area damage. I don't recall. It's something, anytime it does the area damage, it does 20% of the damage it did to the monster in a 10-yard radius. So if you have 5 of them, like if you have 5 monsters close by, right? And the area damage procs on all of them, they will all hit each other for another 25 or 20%. So 5 times 20, and you effectively do double damage to all of them, pretty much. So area damage can be really nice if you are always fighting like big groups of monsters. I found that it works really nicely with the multi-shot. I've seen plenty of wizards when you pull them in with black hole, boom. You do the same with barb, you pull them in, boom. Area damage can be a massive DPS boost on area. Gold fine, well, that's not important, like that's terrible. I did use gold fine in one of my other builds where I didn't need area damage because pets cannot, they do not benefit from area damage. Sentus do not benefit from area damage. They don't proc life on hit. So the only thing I had left was resource reduction and gold fine. So there are some builds that don't benefit at all from either life on hit or area damage, and then you just pop it here. But in general, resource cost reduction is very nice because the more resources you have, the more you can attack. The more you can attack, the more damage you do. Area damage can be a humongous damage increase as well if you have the right build. So from my perspective right now as a demon hunter, these are like my observations. There are probably other observations on other classes. As I learn more of other classes, I might do Paragon points on other classes as well. This can be used as like a general thing amongst most classes though. The offense, the defense, the utility are pretty much the same. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys know a little bit better now what to pick, and I'll see you guys next time.